Hi everyone, it's Kim from Affordably Crafty, and today we're going to be showing you a basic crumble recipe, and I'll show you the proportions for fruit to put in. And if you're new here, welcome. My channel is all about teaching you how to stretch your craft dollar and be affordably crafty. Please like, share, and subscribe. Also follow me on Instagram and join my Facebook group where I post about all my deals, steals, and freebies I find in my travels in the crafting world. So on this episode of Affordably Cooking, you will need 4 cups of fruit. So I have 2 cups of some soft strawberries, 2 cups of rhubarb. This is very spring-centric. 1 orange. We're going to be using the zest and the juice. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. 1/2 tablespoon of cornstarch. 1/3 cup of sugar. 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 cup of sugar, 1/2 cup of flour, 6 tablespoons of butter. Please don't use margarine unless you want to make it vegan, and 1/2 cup of oats. Now, I did not have plain oats, so I opened 2 packets of flavored oats, so it had sugar in it, so I made this less. It's supposed to be 1/2 cup of sugar, but I'm putting 1/3 cup because this also contains sugar. Just so you guys know, but that's an easy fix if you don't have a big, huge jug of oatmeal where you live. Okay, so we're going to combine the stuff that's going to be in the bottom of our casserole dish. Oh, the other tools you need, you're going to need a pastry cutter unless you have a fancy KitchenAid mixer. You're going to need something to zest your orange. You're going to need a fork to get your juice out. And you're also going to need a baking dish. Preheat your oven to 350. So for the bottom, we're going to put in our fruit. So the rhubarb, the strawberries, the salt, which is 1/4 teaspoon. We're going to put in our 1/2 cup of sugar. Oops. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my microplane grater and I am going to zest this orange. So I'm going to zest the outside of the orange, and I'm going to take a fork and juice the orange into this jar, and I'll be back in a moment. You want to make sure that when you're using your grater, you don't get the white part of the orange. That's called the pith, and it's going to be bitter. So I have this much so far. I did 1/2 of it. We're going to dump that in. And I'm going to keep going on the other 1/2. So I just used a little strainer, and I strained the juice. And this is like an approximation. You don't need to have this exact amount of juice. And what we're going to do now, how much did we get? Let's see. We got about 1/4 cup. Yeah, about 1/4 cup. What we're going to do is we're going to take the cornstarch. We're going to put it in there. And with our fork, we're going to dissolve this. This is going to help the cobbler, or whatever you want to call it, be nice and thick and not all watery and yucky. You don't want watery yucky. That's all I have to say. So now we're going to put that in. I'm going to give that it's okay if there's some left in the bottom. Don't freak out. I'm going to give that a good stir. So I have an 8x8 baking dish here, and I've just mixed this up so it's all combined. I'm going to put our fruit mixture on the bottom. I'm going to get a scraper and get all the goodies out. These oranges I just juiced and zest. What am I going to do with these? Well, I don't prefer to put orange citrus in my water because that's normally would be my go-to. Or I put my lemon limes inside seltzer. So what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to make a stovetop potpourri. Really important that you don't let all the water boil out though, okay? So make sure you don't do that because you're going to have a mess on your stove. But what you're going to do is take a pot, and I usually use this size, fill it halfway with water. I am going to quarter these oranges and put them in. And then I'm going to go into my things I only use at Christmas really. And I'm going to take out a cinnamon stick, and I'm going to put it in the water as well. And then we're going to simmer it on low, and our kitchen's going to smell amazing. Waste not, want not. So here we have our 8 quarters of the orange and the 1 cinnamon stick. And it's gonna be awesome. And then after you're done using this as a potpourri, it's gonna go in the compost. Because it has given us all of its flavor and smell. Okay, guys? All right. Now for the crumble topping, and this is pretty much what I use in all my crumbles. Other fruit options I do throughout the year, obviously apple crumble in the fall. I live near the Apple Valley, so there's tons of apples to be picked. Blueberry crumble is amazing. I have a blueberry field near me that I go and pick at with my kids. Pretty much whatever fruit you're into. You could do peaches if that's like fresh near you, you know. But this is my favorite spring crumble, the rhubarb and the strawberry. So we're gonna just use that same bowl we had the fruit in, it's fine. And we're gonna put in 1/2 cup of oats. Now, like I said, I didn't have a big container of plain oats, so I opened 2 envelopes. So one is brown sugar and cinnamon, and one is apple and cinnamon. 1/3 cup of sugar. Normally this would be a 1/2 cup, but there's sugar in that, so we just kind of pared it back a little. And then a 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour. And a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. If you don't have brown sugar, you can make your own. Brown sugar is just white sugar plus molasses. Did you know that? Yep. One of those weird things. You want dark brown sugar? More molasses. Isn't that interesting? I think so. Now we're going to take our 6 tablespoons of butter, and I'm going to cube this up small and put it in here. And I'll be back in a second. Okay, so here we're using our pastry cutter to make these into tiny little bobbles, and then we're going to put it on top once it kind of looks like that. If you have a KitchenAid mixer, this is where you can use that. We're going to put it in the preheated 350-degree oven for 1 hour. And then it looks like this. Yum, yum. Please like, share, and subscribe so your friends can learn how to be affordably crafty too. Have a creative day, everyone. Bye-bye.